seeded consolidation rules in FCCS. Seeded consolidation rule sets are designed to provide the starting point for the consolidation requirement. They are sample rule sets designed to meet the general consolidation requirement. Nine seeded consolidation rules are available in the application if we enable ownership management at the time of application creation. I have created the application already. We'll show you the enable features here. When you check this ownership management, then the seeded rules will be enabled in the application. Also, there are 4 additional rule sets besides the consolidation seeded rule sets. There are 4 other rule sets which are available if equity pickup is checked. I'm going into consolidation tab. Here in configurable consolidation, you will find the 9 rules: investment PP, owner's equity, and net income. These 9 rule sets have been enabled since I checked in ownership management over there. Besides these 9, there are 4 equity pickup seeded rules. So I have already shown you all these 9 rules in the application. The first 6 rules, these provide adjustment or elimination entries between the investment of a holding company in a subsidiary and the owner's equity of the owned company. Then these PP, investment PP, owner's equity subsidiary or proportional PP, owner's equity, equity PP or prior period rule sets apply the required logic to unconsolidated prior period investment which is carrying forward in the opening balances. Now there is one prerequisite for the rule sets to function. All base entities must be designated as intercompany entities. These rule sets use the intercompany dimension to track the legal entity to which elimination entries are related. So the data entered for investment in subsidiaries in the holding company must include an intercompany dimension entry that identifies the owned entity. Let's go to each rule one by one. First, we have investment rule set. This rule set transfers current period investment to goodwill for all intercompany partners. The goodwill entry will offset with the elimination of owner's equity from the subsidiary. The rule sets consist of two rules, which is investment reverse proportionalize and investment goodwill offset. Next is investment PP rule set. This transfers prior period investment to goodwill for all ICP representing siblings. The goodwill entry will offset leaving a net goodwill value. This rule set also contains two rules further, which is investment PP reverse proportionalize and investment PP goodwill offset. Next is owner's equity subsidiary or proportional rule set. This applies the current period ownership percentage and minority interest percentage to the current period owner's equity, excluding retained earnings and other reserves. This assumes that the changes in owner's equity account, excluding retained earnings, are deemed to be pre-acquisition and the retained earnings are post-acquisition. This rule offsets with investment in subsidiary. This rule set consists of three rules, which is again of reverse proportionalize, goodwill offset, and minority interest. Next is owner's equity, subsidiary or proportional method, PP rule. This applies on ownership change to the owner's equity accumulated from prior period, that is carried forward in the opening balance. It assumes that the owned company is an ongoing entity and only ownership relationship has changed. So the prior period owner's equity should be eliminated to the extent the ownership percentage has changed from prior period. The rule set consists of four further rules, which is reverse proportionalize, goodwill offset addition. You can see plus sign over there, minority interest, and goodwill offset subtraction. Then next we have owner's equity rule set, which is similar. It provides similar treatment as in owner's equity, subsidiary or proportional. But there is one change, that it recognizes investment in equity companies. So that's why you can see in the rules, the two rules which are there in the rule set, there is no reverse proportionalization because the consolidation percentage is 0. It does not rely on any intercompany data to execute the consolidation. Next is owner's equity PP rule. So this rule set applies an ownership change to the owner's equity being accumulated from the prior period. Again, since the consolidation percentage is 0, there's no proportionalization. The two rules has goodwill offset and investment in equity companies. Next is owner's equity holding rule set. This rule set applies the legal company entity name as intercompany partner entry for owner's equity account. Owner's equity of a holding company does not eliminate. It has two rules further: reverse proportionalization and proportionalize with ICP. Next is net income subsidiary rule set. This rule set splits post-acquisition income of subsidiary between owner share and minority interest share. Minority interest share goes to minority interest equity account, and the unadjusted remainder of net income is aggregated to owner's income. Then it further has two rules: net income, uh, am I netting minority interest net income and minority interest. And last we have the ninth seeded rule is net income equity rule set. It records the ongoing post-acquisition income of the equity method company as equity company income in the income statement and records the other side of the entry in the investment in equity company's investment income account. It has two rules of equity company income and investment in equity company. Now let's go to the application where I showed you the seeded rules. Right now, none of the rules have been deployed. When you create the application, you have to come here and deploy the rules as per your requirements. To show you the effect of all the rules, I haven't deployed them yet. I have prepared my input sheet. I have taken few accounts, two assets, one liability, one common stock, and one investment in subsidiary and one retained earning, to show you effect of all these 9 rules. Then I've chosen two entities, legal 1, legal 2. I've input all the figures while configuring in the system legal 1 and legal 2. These entities I have already created their ICP entities. Investment in sub has been entered in the respective ICP. So legal 01 is holding entity. Its subsidiary is legal 02, where it owns 90% share. Legal 01 holds 90% share of legal 02 by making investment of 10,000. So this data I have already input. We will run the consolidation and see what is the output. Let's go to the consolidation tab. I will provide the ownership percentage here. My parent entity is Consol01. I'll select that. So legal 01 is the holding entity having 90% ownership percentage in the subsidiary legal 02. It will recompute ownership data. Okay, now we will run the rule of consolidation. My entity is C01. Period Jan. Scenario actual. Year is FY15. We will launch it. So remember, at this time, we haven't deployed any of the rules. Consolidation ran successfully. We'll go to the smart view sheet. This is input output sheet I have already created. I have already taken the entity. This is my parent, Consol01. These two, legal 01 is holding and legal 02 was subsidiary. I am looking them at parent currency, intercompany top, total data source, entity total. Okay. Further, I have also taken the consolidation, other consolidation members of proportion, elimination, and contribution on both the base level entities, that is the holding company and the subsidiary entity. Okay. So let's refresh this sheet. Okay. So here we see 6,000 cash and 1,000 cash. It is getting accumulated at parent because of the dynamic nature of the account. Entity, base level entity will get accumulated at the parent level, which is everywhere this is happening. So right now we can see common stock of subsidiaries not been eliminated. We can still see the investment in subsidiary, which should not be there. I'm not getting the figures of minority interest. Now retained earning, it is getting the both of the retained earnings are getting added up. So it is not on the it is not proportional to the ownership percentage, and I'm not getting any figure in goodwill. So let us go back to the application and deploy the rules. We'll go to configuration. Sorry, we have to go to consolidation. Let's deploy investment rule first. We will close this and launch the consolidation rule again. So POV has already entered from my last consolidation. We just have to launch it. We will go to a sheet. Right now, what do you see? That investment has not got eliminated. We are getting total of both the common stock. We are not finding figures for minority interest, either goodwill, and retained earning is not even in the proportional. So we have deployed investment rule. We will refresh now the sheet. So see now what happens. Investment in subsidiary has got eliminated. And it has all investment has eliminated and has gone to goodwill offset. You can see the proportion elimination and contribution of in the holding as well as subsidiary. You can see elimination of investment and going into goodwill offset and accumulating to goodwill. But still, the goodwill figure is not being proportionalized, neither retained earning, nor we are getting minority interest. Also, the common stock figures is still wrong. The subsidiary common stock is still adding up on the parent level. So we will go back again to the application and deploy the next rule. Now we will deploy owner's equity rule. We have to go to the rules section so that we can launch the consolidation once again. Okay, now after the consolidation ran successfully, let's go to this sheet. I will refresh it. Now you can see changes in owner's equity. Common stock is now aggregating on the top, which has to be only of the holding company, which is correct now. Further, the ownership percentage is right now only applied on the common stock of subsidiary. So the figures for minority interest and goodwill does not include the effect of retained earnings. Also, the retained earning figure is still intact. It has not changed. What change we see after deploying owner's equity rule set is that common stock figure is coming up correctly. But ownership percentage in minority interest and goodwill, the effect of retained earning percentage is not highlighted right now. So we will go back to the application and deploy net income rule. I have to launch consolidation again. So in rules, we will launch consolidation rule. Let's go to jobs to see the consolidation status. Consolidation has been completed. Now, out of the 9 rules, these net income rule set were the last ones. We have got all the results except except the figures in minority interest and goodwill. The effect of retained earning percentage is not showing. So now we'll refresh our sheet. Okay, now you see minority interest is taking the effect of retained earning percentage also. And now retained earning is not just the total of these two, which is wrong. It it is actually uh, the proportion. Now it is taking the proportion of subsidiary. You can see the figures at proportion, elimination, and contribution in both the entities. Okay. So I hope these rule sets were clear to you. But if you have further query, you may visit our website www.bispsolutions.com. Thank you.